Week 8. Last week, I was supposed to work on the landing page after a user logs in. That was not done. I mean, I did a little bit of it, but that wasn't done. I got derailed big time. Specifically, I spent a lot of time looking at AI stuff. And just to be clear, up until this moment, I really hadn't been a big fan of AI because I thought it was overhyped, overblown, and full of fluff. And that partly because it has been overhyped and full of fluff, but also partly because of the genuine lack of understanding that I had with regards to what it can do at the moment and what the future holds for it. And when I started playing with it last week, I found myself unable to stop playing with it because it's far more powerful than I thought it ever could be. And it actually relates to this particular app development, which I'll talk about a little bit later. So what happened last week specifically was that instead of doing the online, subscribing to ChatGPT or Gemini and then asking questions and using the large language models there, I wanted a more sort of a private and personal setup. And at this moment, this has been enabled by the recent release of DeepSeek AI model from China, which is an open source AI model that has been shown to be very effective running a sort of a condensed, smaller model locally, because I don't have the hardware, the multi-$1,000, tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars of hardware that you need to run like larger models. And so I set up the stack locally, and I've been running DeepSeek 32 billion parameter with 20 gigabytes of model size, and connecting it to the internet. In other words, when I'm asking it a question, it would search the internet and then ingest the information from the search results and then use its reasoning model to give me the results that I'm looking for. And the results, more often than not, are scary good. One example I did was I asked the model to make straight up a composable function using the libraries as well as the dependencies that I'm already using in my app at the moment. And then after I think 10 seconds of searching the internet and 30 seconds of inferencing, it just spat out a composable function that I can almost just copy and paste and use in my code without much edit. Yeah, we're going to be out of a job soon. So until that moment, you still need somebody to know the question to ask, to know if the return result is actually what you're looking for, and to know how to integrate that result into the particular application that you're building. And in that sense, it's actually quite helpful because I can foresee it speeding up a lot of the sort of the boilerplate and the tedious part of the app development for me. Who knows? This is the first time of me playing with it, so maybe that's not going to be true. But in the long run, I don't really know what's going to happen. What if you just send it a design document, it just spits out an app for you, bypassing the need for folks like us. If that happens, I'm just going to have to find some other way of adapting to it. But so far, it's very exciting. So nowadays you can spend $650. I spent $650 on a used GPU, 3090 in particular, on eBay. Hooked it up to a machine that I have been using for the longest time because it's been sitting there collecting dust. It's an old PC, and then installed Fedora, installed Docker, put the Ollama AI engine as well as the Open Web UI, the Ollama web portal user interface, and then the 32 billion parameter DeepSeek, hooked it up to the internet. I'm using a private internet search just so that there's no digital footprint of mine. Boy, we live in exciting times. So that's set up, and I hope to not spend or waste too much more time on it next week. Next week will be an abbreviated week, but I do hope to at least set up the scaffold for the screens, because all the screens most likely would use the same scaffold with the top app bar, with the menu bar and all of that. So I hope to at least set this part up, hopefully, maybe using the AI stuff that I just configured. And then if I have time, then I'll move on to actually implementing the first page, the landing page after user logs in. But the goal is to at least get the scaffold done and hopefully integrate some AI stuff with it, like asking it to do it and then fine tune my prompt. And that's still something that I need to sort of fine tune. All right, this is it for this week. I will see you next week.